Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at 10 of the craziest events caught live on TV in the 90s.
Somebody's coming in through the back. In fact, there's a police officer. You can see him inside.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most notable and startling incidents that were caught by live news outlets during the 1990s. We'll be excluding events where the aftermath unfolded through live coverage, including the infamous Oklahoma City attack. Did you happen to watch any of these live? Let us know in the comments below. Princess Diana's funeral. The death of the People's Princess on August 31, 1997 shocked not only the UK, but also the planet.
Diana, Princess of Wales, has in fact been killed in that car accident.
Princess Diana, her partner, the Mercedes-Benz's driver, and her partner's bodyguard were all traveling in a car that crashed into a pillar inside Paris's Pont de l'Alma tunnel at 12:23 a.m. For hours, both the world and the media's attention were fixed firmly on the status of the grievously injured Diana. Following a 6 a.m. news conference held by anesthetist Bruno Rio announcing her demise, the Princess of Wales's funeral would be broadcast live several days later. Drawing an estimated 2.5 billion global viewers, the September 6th ceremony was one of history's biggest televised events, but it also unfortunately resulted from a huge tragedy.
I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts, in people's hearts, but I don't see myself being queen of this country.
Mike Tyson bites Evander Holyfield. We tell you to name a famous moment in boxing, and chances are you'll quickly mention the Mike Tyson ear bite.
The sense of anticipation as before the first fight is almost palpable. Here we go, fight 2, round 1.
The fight was between Tyson and Evander Holyfield, and they were battling for the WBA Heavyweight Championship. It took place in the MGM Grand Garden Arena and was broadcast live by pay-per-view. However, the fight ended in a startlingly anticlimactic but legendary manner when Tyson bit off a piece of Holyfield's hearing organ.
What happened here?
Tyson was disqualified, ending the bout in less than 3 full rounds.
Look out, he's pushed right here!
But when the initial disappointment wore off, it left behind an iconic piece of pop culture history.
When did we get that on tape?
The San Diego Tank Rampage. On May 17, 1995, an ex-Army soldier named Sean Nelson took possession of an M60 tank from the California Army National Guard and drove it through the streets of San Diego. The incident lasted nearly half an hour, with Nelson destroying objects like utility poles, bus benches, and citizen vehicles. Luckily, no one was injured, and Nelson proved to be the only fatality when he was shot by responding police officers.
34-year-old Sean Nelson had been a tank crewman in the Army, but police had no idea who was at the controls until it was over.
The unique chase was captured by news cameras and televised, with viewers likely glued to the screen to witness this once-in-a-lifetime event. The O.J. Simpson Bronco chase. Throughout the 1970s, O.J. Simpson was a household name for another reason. Regarded as a stellar running back, Simpson earned fame and set rushing records during his time with the Buffalo Bills. That obviously changed in 1994 when Simpson was accused of murdering Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. This resulted in the now legendary Bronco chase of June 17th, which saw Simpson fleeing the police in a white Ford Bronco.
O.J. Simpson is still traveling very slowly northbound along the 5 freeway, coming up again towards the 91 intersection.
The slow chase down Interstate 405 was extensively covered by the news, who were following from above in helicopters.
People have pulled over, many of them carrying signs reading things like "Save the Juice," "Go OJ."
Multiple major networks stopped their programming to broadcast the chase, and approximately 95 million people watched it unfold. This was event television, and it started one of the most famous criminal trials of our time.
It's hard to say what in the world is on his mind at this point.
Ayrton Senna crashes. A 3-time Formula One champion, Ayrton Senna was participating in the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix when he tragically lost his life. No one had died at a Formula One race in 12 years, with the last incident occurring at the 1982 Canadian Grand Prix. During the live race, Senna left the track and struck a concrete barrier at 131 miles per hour. It was immediately obvious that something was wrong, as Senna wasn't moving in the car. An overhead helicopter captured the immediate aftermath, with medical personnel pulling Senna from the car and giving him an emergency tracheotomy. He was rushed to the hospital, but died later that night, having suffered severe head trauma. The Northridge Earthquake. At 4:30 a.m. on January 17, 1994, Los Angeles was rocked by a massive earthquake that caused widespread destruction throughout the city, making it look much like a war-torn battlefield and resulting in dozens of casualties and thousands of injuries. The initial quake was not captured on live TV, as most people were asleep and cameras were not rolling. But we're including the live broadcast of KNBC, going on air just 3 minutes after the earthquake occurred. The footage shows Joe Rico in a rattled state as he gets the broadcast going, worries about his family, and even experiences a few major aftershocks, including one that shakes the camera.
I personally have a lot of concerns for my family. Hopefully, I don't know, Michelle, if you can hear this, I hope you're okay. Here comes another aftershock.
It's a chilling microcosm of the sheer panic that millions endured, and it serves as a crazy event in and of itself. The Waco Siege.
I'm afraid my mom thinks I've lost my mind. Moving in with a Bible study group.
On February 28, 1993, federal agents and Texan law enforcers stormed Mount Carmel Center in Axtell, Texas. This was a compound belonging to a religious cult called the Branch Davidians. They were hoping to serve warrants stemming from the illegal stockpiling of weapons, but the raid instigated a deadly shootout. This in turn resulted in the Waco Siege, which infamously culminated 51 days later when the compound burned to the ground. The fire was captured on live television, most notably by CNN, which broadcast some of the more famous visuals from that fateful day. It's startling footage depicting large explosions, a raging inferno, and thick black smoke towering into the air.
This is a non-lethal form of tear gas, and the big question at the moment is, did the gas ignite this fire?
76 Branch Davidians, including leader David Koresh, died in the fire, igniting a ferocious controversy that still continues to this day. Hurricane Andrew. For many years, Hurricane Andrew held some rather unfortunate records. At the time, it was the hurricane that caused the most financial loss in American history, causing $27 billion in property damage.
This is literally a painful experience. This sand is hitting us so hard that it feels like BB's hitting your skin.
It was also the first tropical cyclone in 23 years to make landfall as a Category 5, and it would be the last for another 26 years. Forming on August 16, 1992, and lasting nearly 2 weeks, Hurricane Andrew was extensively covered in the media, with many channels capturing the unbelievable and unprecedented destruction as it occurred.
I had no idea that this kind of power was possible. It's just, you hear about it, but once you experience it.
It all makes for very sobering footage as water floods streets and human-made structures get battered, ripped away, and destroyed by the forces of nature.
It was a beautiful lodge, but she's gone now.
Gone?
Hurricane Andrew flattened her flatter and flat.
The Los Angeles riots. Years of racial tension and police brutality finally exploded, literally, on the evening of April 29, 1992. It began when the 4 officers charged with the beating of Rodney King were acquitted, sparking civil unrest in South Central Los Angeles. The violence and outrage spread from there and covered much of the greater LA area, resulting in 63 deaths, over 2,000 injuries, and $1 billion in property damage.
We are going to wait and see what happens.
The immense looting and destruction of property was extensively covered by the media over the next week.
Look at all the people going back into the store. It's amazing. Now the store is going to fill up with looters again.
Some of the riot's most famous events, including the attack on truck driver Reginald Denny, were broadcast on live TV, despite the horrific violence. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications. The Hubble Space Telescope launch. Despite being built in the 1970s, the Hubble Space Telescope didn't launch until 1990. The delay was attributed to multiple factors, including fiscal constraints, technical difficulties, and the catastrophic Challenger disaster of 1986. But with much fanfare and news coverage, the telescope was officially launched on April 24, 1990, via the Space Shuttle Discovery.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1... and liftoff.
The mission, titled STS-31, lasted 5 days and drew much public attention. It was also captured by various IMAX cameras, the footage of which appeared in the movie Destiny in Space.
Now, the Orpheus telescope has been released into orbit. We are riding with it.
The successful mission helped re-establish faith in the space shuttle program and the telescope has gone on to make some of the most important astronomical discoveries of our time.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.